There we go. Help if I did the puzzle the right way around, wouldn't it? Not that I even understand this puzzle at all, but thank God for guides, eh?
Godspeed.
Where's my reward game? I ain't going through that portal. That doesn't seem like a smart idea. Okay, I guess through the portal we go then.
Together we stand.
But before we do...
Ready to serve.
Help me sway from my path. You require my unbiased opinion?
Rules are made to know what you're doing. Good.
Don't think I've... Oh yeah, I'm blessed. There we go.
I
Wait.
always did what was right.
Always forgot.
Before I became righteous.
I always forget that paladins have the longest like wind up for their abilities to actually take effect. One most worthy, you are late. The Sphinx's voice is tranquil and unchanging. Her masked gaze stares out indifferently somewhere above your head. We've been waiting for you for a long time, but the age of Earthfall has ended, and along with it, our patience. Secrets of creation will remain unknown. Leave. Arish Kigal, I solved your puzzles. Reveal yourself. Who is here? You're not the one most worthy. You're the one from whom we've waited. You're not the one from whom we've waited. How dare you intrude into our lair and discover our secrets? Solved your puzzle now, and my reward. The reward is intended for the one most worthy. You will not receive it. You should not have solved the puzzle. You will not have found your way here. You are a mistake. You don't seem to see me. Are you blind? The Sphinx remained silent for a while, as if pondering an answer. We've been waiting here for too long. We have fallen into disrepair. Who are you waiting here for? We're waiting for the one who is most worthy, the one who solved all the puzzles, the one who refused to follow their kin, the one who survived the Earthfall, the one for whom we will give our mask and maim as our avatar. Not for you. I deserve more and I'll get it by force if needed.
To accept their statement.
Endure this. Is this a mock fight?
You look at the ghost expectantly, but he is silent and motionless. He seems stunned, unable to comprehend what has happened, and suddenly the ghost springs into action. With one swift movement, he grabs the mask and rips it off his face. This is the first time you've seen the ghost's face. He looks pale and haggard, but his dark eyes burn with stubbornness and strength. I have been imprisoned by that cursed Sphinx for thousands of years, but now I am finally free. There will be no more encounters with wandering travelers. I will never again have to lure them into a trap with the promise of great mysteries. I must reward you for my freedom, adventurer. Although I have been dead for thousands of years, I was once a thief, and a good thief always has some loot stashed away. Take this as a token of my gratitude. You did not gain access to the secret creation, but you've given... Sorry there, guys. Hey, thank you for the resub, James. 3 months. Have your prime. Thank you for your prime. Yes, you gave me the gift of freedom. I was once known as Kinney the Stubborn, Thief of Secrets. Thank you for releasing me from my imprisonment. Wait, so you are Kinney the Thief. You're the one who escaped the enslavement of the Cyclopses and hid from them in the abyss. An elf called the Storyteller told me about you. He said you were his friend. Storyteller? I do not know anyone who goes by that name, but the ghost fell silent, lost in thought. I believe I know the person you are talking about. He turns his face away, overcome with emotion. My friend, the one I betrayed. Can it be that he still lives? If what you say is true, I am sad that you will not have the chance to meet me. My time in the material plane is coming to an end. I can feel my life slipping away. Why did you betray him? Why did you deceive him and try to steal his secret? It's difficult to explain. I am running out of time. Second guy. The ghost bows his head. He hesitates for a moment and folding his arms across his chest before he continues in a low voice. He was obsessed with his rift experiments. Elves are accustomed The idea of moving between planes and traveling the different worlds. After all, elves are not native to Galarian. They originated elsewhere. That is why we find it so hard. That is why elves find it so difficult to understand the disastrous consequences that can result from opening permanent rifts and portals. Of course, you know all about such consequences. After all, you live in a world where the Worldwound already exists. But I was trying to prevent such a catastrophe. I implored my friend to stop what he was doing, and when I failed to convince him, I stole his secret notes and hid them where I thought no one would even find them. Your friend is still alive. Is there anything you'd like me to tell him? Anything I want to tell him? The ghost considers this for a while. What is there to say? That I regret what I did to him, even though I'd do it again? That I never had a better friend? The ghost shakes his head and answers quietly. Tell him that in all my life, I never had anything more delicious than the spiced mulled wine we used to drink together in his tower. What will you do happen to you now? Who knows? I've been in the prisoner of this horrible demon lord for thousands of years. Will I join the River of Souls like everyone else? Will I stand trial before Pharasma? If I do stand trial, where will I be sent? I don't know the answer to any of these questions, but it doesn't really matter. Whatever happens, it cannot be worse than what I've already suffered. You're no longer bound by the spell. Can you tell me why you were captured? What purpose did you serve in Rishkagal's plan? Forced me to play this game of questions and answer with travelers, but she never told me the reason for my imprisonment. I can only tell you my theory. I think all of this, the riddles, the talking ghosts that appear in strategic locations, was designed to whet the curiosity of those who reach for the unknown. In other words, it was bait, and the bait was meant to lure them here. The ghost falls silent, then says in a low voice, it is possible that she had another goal in mind. The faceless sphinx find pleasure in subduing powerful seekers of knowledge, and my friend, the one you call the storyteller, was a powerful archmage unlike any other, and perhaps Ershkigal believed that he would enter the heart of mystery to save me. Should the promise of great knowledge fail to sway him, I would be the perfect bait to lure him into the trap. If that was her plan, things didn't go the way she hoped. Even the most cunning demon lords make mistakes. Freedom awaits. Farewell. Farewell to you too, adventurer. Hey, so that's the riddles done. Might as well have a little look around while we're here, but that's the Heart of Mystery done. Now we've actually got to go to the storyteller and do some talking. I'm a little bit upset there's no more loot here, but we did get the Mask of the Most Worthy. We've now got the Mask of Nothing and the Mask of the Most Worthy. Give myself that one and Nenio. You're not gonna wear the other one. It's okay. And like that, we well, that is twice we have defeated a demon lord. Demon Lord's a bitch then. I mean, we are 20th level. And also a mythic creature ourselves.
Let us not hesitate.
Because we are actually an angel. So I guess it could be that, you know, we're on par with a Demon Lord at this point. I'm one level away from being the highest level angel that you can be in the game. So I'd say I'm essentially close to godhood as you can be, yeah. But now we must go back to Dresden and talk to the storyteller. Okay, so we'll go sell the last of our stuff. Talk to the storyteller. And then prepare to enter Threshold. As we are pretty much at the end of the game now. I did think the Heart of Mystery would take a little bit longer. So that's a shame, but that's a really cool sword. It's such a shame that no one in my fucking army can use dueling swords. Ooh, a long spear to get... Damn shame no one can fucking use them. They sound so cool. Like, we've got a bunch of cool weapons. It's just that no one can use them because, like, no one's... Like, you'd have to really pretty much spec into them by design, and no one did. Right, let's go talk to the storyteller. I wonder, is there any way to give myself more wrath? Yeah, I could get rid of Sun form and get it to... You know what, I'm going to do that. Two of those is going to be much better. The blind elf whispers something underneath his breath. Hearing your steps, he turns to you slowly. Greetings, Samael. You brought me a new story. I bring word from Kinney, your friend. His soul was being held by Rishkagal all these millennia, but I helped him break free. He asked me to tell you that the warm spiced wine you two used to share in the tower was the best wine he drank in his life. The storyteller flinches. Kinney, my friend, after all this time, I never expected to hear your name. Hear a word from you. I didn't think this would still matter to me after so many years, and yet I am glad, touched, saddened. Cannot make sense of what I'm feeling. He remembered the wine. We oft times sat there on the tower's balcony. He let out a sigh, then smiled. I apologize, but I'm not willing to continue this discussion. This is too personal, but I thank you for helping Kinney find peace. Found a page that might interest you. Yes, you're right, another piece. Storyteller collects the page you brought him. His voice becomes a bit younger and more energetic. Everything is ready for merging the planes. Baphomet's runes are drawn on the floor of the laboratory. The purple flame of the heart of the tower, this is what I call the crystal now, is pulsating under the influence of the secret spell. If you think about it, the pulsating flame echo the beating of my heart, but I don't want to think. It took me too long to decide. If I think for just a moment, I might stop. I chose the Abyss as the plane to merge with Galarian. This is the last gift to my former friend who was concerned about the imminent destruction of the plane, whose fate I will tie to the dying Galarian. Truth be told, I am not completely sure I will succeed. This is another reason I chose the Abyss. Hardly anyone will agree that it suddenly shares Galarian's fate. Acrid smoke and burning chemicals sting my nose. My eyes are watering. I haven't rested for several days. I take a step back and almost trip over an empty wine bottle. I came to the end of my supplies days ago, but regardless, my mind is clear, my thoughts are sharp. I stare into the heart of the tower and whisper the magic command, time to begin. How long has it been since you last saw your friend? Storyteller waves you off. A year, 2, maybe 10? I didn't keep track. And what does it matter now? I've spent time working. I checked and double-checked every line of the spells, every symbol. I'm almost sure the merging will be a success. Thanks, dude. Also, when we write, I have no clue, dude. I will let you know, like I said. Don't worry about it. I am thinking about it, but just I haven't got a clue at the moment, dude. Do you know anything about what happened to Kinney? He is no longer of any interest to me. The storyteller's voice is sharp and unpleasant. He is a traitor. He betrayed me in our dream. The storyteller is silent for a while, moving his lips without a sound, but I still miss him sometimes. I miss the times when we were captivated by our idea and each other. When I enjoyed respect in Aloe Shinra. When someone needed my advice and service. Who would have thought that 17 years spent in the Abyss would be my most cherished memory? Please continue. Symbol to symbol, word to word, gesture to gesture. The merging begins. I feel the wind of the abyss on my face. I can do it. I will do something no one else has done before. I am the last great archmage of Kyonin. But now is not the time to relax. I must keep my mind away from idle thoughts. Thoughts are also important in my experiment. My lips read one spell, my hands move another, and I stay third in my mind. I feel pain as if I'm being torn in half. My essence, my being, my identity is about to be changed, filled with the energies of the abyss. I will stop being a Galarian. I'll become a new creature, half elf, half demon, a stranger to both planes. The fabric of the world grows thin before my eyes. I see legions of demons gnawing at each other, ripping each other's throats. I see the minotaurs of the Ivy Labyrinth sitting around the fire, honing their giant axes. I inhale the forgotten smell of Aloe Shinra's sewage. I hear the impermanent buzzing of locusts and the rasping rifts. I raise my hand to complete the merge and connect Galarian and the Abyss forever. As if on cue, demons, minotaurs, and even locusts turn to me. They freeze before the path opener. I hear Deskari's whisper, sense Baphomet's loathsome grin, and feel Nocticula's curiosity and attention. The demons are ready to invade Galarian to torment and kill everything that didn't perish in the Earthfall. They will degrade the remains of my world until nothing is left. Is this what I really want? My hands freeze. You want to stop the merging. The storyteller doesn't seem to hear you. I understand. All this time I was deceiving Kinney and myself. I never wanted to save Golarion. The perishing empires of my world are just empty as the words for me. I was not interested in the lives that would be lost. Life takes its course. People are born and die. Kingdoms rise and fall to ashes. And even gods have their final days. Those are the laws of the world, and it is not for me to oppose them. However, not a single life passes without a trace. Not a single life, and not a single people disappears completely. While the memory of them lives, while their culture, language, and art remain, civilization lives as well. I never wanted to save the people of Golarion. I wanted a handful of survivors to keep the memory of Golarion alive. The demons invade Golarion. They will destroy the very memory of it. They will burn whatever is not burned and desecrate what can't be burnt. The invasion spells the death of Golarion, and I almost destroyed something that must never perish. The purple flame of the heart of the tower burns my eyes. The storyteller gulps nervously. I carefully lower my hand, allowing the spell to disperse. The elf seems to have aged by a few hundred more years, his face thinner. I almost destroyed Golarion. In my pride, I could have put the end to my world, just to become the path opener, to prove my title, the last Archmage of Kynin. Even if only to myself, I don't know what to say in my defense. I'm gonna quickly Are you gonna stop the world opening? Okay, so yeah, the last one just doesn't seem to hear you. Okay. Purple flame covers my eyes. I cannot turn away. It follows my gaze. I cannot close my eyes. It will follow me there. Follow there too. The heart of the tower burned out of my sight. I'm not sure I'll ever be able to see my dear Golarion again. Wounded, groaning from the consequences of her fall, but no less loved because of that. Exhausted, I sit down on my cold floor of the laboratory. All my work was in vain. I wasted my entire long elven life looking for something that had turned out to be useless. I didn't even understand what it really mattered to me. Golarion, such as it was before Earthfall, does not exist anymore. But there is another new Golarion, a young one that is surviving, fighting for its life. By connecting it with another plane, I would have destroyed the new Golarion, making it an extension of the other plane. Instead of trying to save old Golarion, I should have helped the new one. I was supposed to preserve the memory of the old Golarion, to gather the knowledge and heritage of lost civilizations and give them to the world when it needs them. For at some point, it will rise from the ashes without any help. I believe this now, and deep down I always have. That's how you lost your sight. Looks like it, the storyteller chuckles faintly. I still only see this purple flame after so many years. It's become quite dear to me. You almost opened the Worldwound. The storyteller nods sadly. You're right, it would have been a terrible crime against Golarion. A murder. At the time, it was much weaker than it is now. It wouldn't have been able to resist the demonic invasion. Luckily, I was wise enough to stop before it was too late. Fish Storyteller is actually a character, with an utterly unpredictable and original twist. I can't tell if that's sarcasm or not, to be honest there, Alexius. Please continue. Rise, elf. This is not the end. The masterful voice seems to ring in my head. A silhouette of an angel appears in the flame. Purple flames are reflected in her gleaming steel armor. She has no face, just two fiery burning eyes. Eyes burning deep in her steel hood. Rise, elf. Rise and bow to the will of Pharasma. Storyteller's voice changes subtly, becomes loud and adamant. Rejoice, elf, for the Lady of the Graves has deemed you worthy. You pursued your goal despite the opinions of those around you, and even fate itself, but you managed to stay your hand once you realized your mistake. You saved Golarion from yourself. For this, the Lady of the Graves wants to give you a gift. You will become her usher, an immortal psychopomp. You will take a place at the lady's side and become my keeper of history, not just for Golarion, but for all the planes. Return. Pharasma requires one thing. Tear up your back-covered notebook, or let the knowledge you obtained remain a secret for many generations of Golarion after you. Storyteller gulps involuntarily. Pharasma herself sent me her herald to me. For the first time in my life, I, the last Archmage of Kynin, who proudly looked in the eyes of the Demon Lords, felt unsure. And my hands freeze. My hand feels for the notebook on the floor. My fingers run over the tree bark covered lovingly. I don't need eyes to recognize it. I know all its cracks and bumps. Like my child, the only meaning of my meaningless life. I don't want to destroy it. I can't find it in me to obey the order of the Lady of the Graves. You refuse Pharasma herself? Storyteller tries to smile. I did a stupid thing, didn't I? I, the last Archmage of Kaonin, was just a fool who had lost his purpose in life, and then dared to disobey a goddess. If I were heard, I've ordered the herald to destroy the deranged old man. Tell me about the herald Pharasma sent you. The steward of the Skirn, warrior and herald of Pharasma's will, Lady of the Grave sends her to restore the balance of fates, and also to pronounce the great prophecy. Her interference in the fates of the world is almost imperceivable. Only a few remember meeting her. Don't eternal life and serving Pharasma merit the destruction of such dangerous knowledge? Narrator remains quiet for a long while, gathering his thoughts. My mind wanted to say yes. I should have destroyed my dangerous notes. I could have ruined Galarian, but my heart says the opposite. This knowledge is part of all Galarian's heritage. I, a child of that lost world, created it in my reckless pride. If I wanted to preserve all of Galarian's heritage, do I have the right to choose which parts of this heritage should be wiped out of history? Continue. I am ready to undergo any punishment for my refusal, but the steward of the Skirn only looks at me quietly as if pondering something. The knowledge in your hands must not see the light. This is beyond question. My lady is merciful and has agreed to make concessions. You will tear the pages out of your notebook and along with it, out of your memory. It will scatter the pages throughout the world, and your memory will be purged. You will be immortal but pure, like a newborn babe. Use your new life to keep the memory of the fallen and seek the truth about your own past. As soon as you remember this moment, you will lose your immortality and will have to answer my question again. Will you choose to become a servant of the lady, or prefer to live out in the short time you have left? I find no strength to answer and only nods. The steward raises a hand and we both find ourselves in a whirlwind. I see nothing but the purple flame and the glowing image of the herald, but the rest of my senses tell me we are rushing through many plains. I hear seagulls crying and the smell of salty ocean air, followed by the rumble of a raging volcano. The bracing wind of the plains changes to the dry heat of the desert, and then the blistering cold of a snowy mountaintop. In each of these plains, I tear a page and give it to the wind. It grabs the new toy from my hands and takes it away, far away, to hide it from me for many years. With every torn page, I start to forget. What did I do in the Ivory Labyrinth? Why did I live in Al-Shinra? And indeed, did I ever live there? The name of Kinney seems vaguely familiar, but I don't remember why it should mean something to me. Maybe it was my own name. Exhausted, I fall down on the withered grass. I remember this is how the woods of my home Kaonin used to smell. My mind drowns in the darkness. I don't see the steward any longer, but I still hear her voice. Look for your past, elf, and gather the stories of Galarian, for this is your calling. I name you the storyteller. When you remember this moment, destroy the dangerous knowledge that is once again fallen into your hands, and Pharasma will see you in her halls. And you, Samael, help him with this. Help him make the right decision.